We'll start reading this today. Beyond Birth and Death, and chapter 1, we are not these bodies. Dehi nityam avadyoyam, dehe sarvasya bharata, tasmat sarvani bhutani, na tvam shochitam arhasi. O descendant of Bharat, he who dwells in the body is eternal and can never be slain. Therefore, you need not grieve for any creature. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, text 30. So Lord Krishna is speaking to Arjuna. Srila Prabhupada is beginning this book with this shloka from Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna is telling Arjuna that the soul is eternal. He who dwells in the body is eternal. So we are the living entity. We are inside in this material body, and we are eternal. We can never die. Never ever. The very first step in self-realization is realizing one's identity as separate from the body. I am not this body, but am spirit soul is an essential realization for anyone who wants to transcend death and enter into the spiritual world beyond. So Prabhupada is explaining to us that first of all, we have to realize that, oh, I'm not the body. I'm someone who's separate from the body. We say my hand, we say my leg, my mind. We don't say I hand, I leg, I mind. So, we know that we are not this body. That's why we are saying my body. So who is that my? That is the soul. So we have to understand that we are not this body, but we are the soul, and we need to. That's the first point Prabhupada is explaining. It is not simply a matter of saying, I'm not this body, but of actually realizing it. This is not as simple as it may seem at first. Although we are not these bodies, but are pure consciousness, somehow or other, we have become encased within the bodily dress. So theoretically, we know, okay, I'm not the body, I'm the soul. But how many of us have actually understood it? How many of us have actually realized it? So Prabhupada is pointing out, yeah, it's easy when we theoretically say, I'm not this body, but practically. So we are the pure soul. We are pure consciousness. Somehow or the other, we are encased within the bodily dress. We are encased, we are encaged inside this body. We're not able to get out by our own will. If we actually want the happiness and independence that transcend death, we have to establish ourselves and remain in our constitutional position as pure consciousness. So we all want to be happy. None of us want to die. So the soul actually never dies. So we have to realize that I'm the soul so that we can always be happy and also realize that, oh, I'm eternal. I'm never going to die anyways. So that's how we can transcend death. Living in the bodily conception. So if anyone has any comments or any question at any time, then you just please raise it. Living in the bodily conception, our idea of happiness is like that of a man in delirium. Living in the bodily conception, our idea of happiness is like that of a man in delirium. Delirium means what? Like a mad person. We are thinking that the more I enjoy this body, the more we will be happy. And we have become mad after that. That's all that we think of, that I'm going to be happy if I enjoy with this body. But that's acting, we see someone who is out of their mind, and then the way they act, we say, what's wrong with that person? He's not acting properly. So looking from the higher point of view, looking from above, we are acting that way, like mad people. Why? Because we've completely forgotten that we are the soul, the pure consciousness, and we are thinking we are the body. Some philosophers claim that this delirious condition of bodily identification should be cured by abstaining from all action. So we are all mad. Why? Because we are thinking we are the body, we want to enjoy the body, we have forgotten we are the soul. So now some people say, okay, then how can we stop this madness? Okay, then it can be stopped. Don't do anything. There is some people who will say, don't do anything then. Because these material activities have been a source of distress for us, they claim that we should actually stop these activities. The culmination of perfection is in a kind of Buddhistic nirvana, in which no activities are performed. Buddha maintained that due to a combination of material elements, this body has come into existence, and that somehow or other, if these material elements are separated or dismantled, the cause of suffering is removed. So, so a certain philosophy is there that, okay, don't do anything and you will be cured of madness. That because what is the thought behind it? It's like how Lord Buddha has explained that, oh, why are we in distress? Because we are acting on the material platform. And these material activities, they are giving us suffering. So just stop acting. Like, oh, we put our hand in the fire, so the fire is burning, so then don't put the hand in the fire. So stop all activity. Or all the activity is giving us suffering. We are walking, we are killing the ants, so stop walking. This is what the idea is. So don't do anything then. And like that, there's going to be no bad reaction. And because there's no bad reaction, there is not going to be any suffering. So if the tax collectors give us too much difficulty because we happen to possess a large house, one simple solution is to destroy the house. So then, this is like saying that, okay, I have a big house, and because of this big house, I have to pay so many taxes. Better I destroy this house so I don't have to pay any taxes. However, the Bhagavad Gita indicates that this material body is not all in all. If we just say, oh, I'll stop acting, and because I'm not going to do any activity, I will not have any suffering. That is like thinking that we are the body. But Bhagavad Gita, the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, is giving us a higher knowledge. Beyond this combination of material elements, there is spirit, and the symptom of that spirit is consciousness. So Buddha is saying that life is maintained and the body came because the different elements, they combined at a certain point. But Bhagavad Gita teaches us that this body is not all in all. There is a living spirit soul there, conscious. There's a consciousness. The symptom of the spirit is consciousness. How do we understand that this is a living being, not dead matter? Because there will be consciousness. That's what separates a living entity from a dead matter. If I try to destroy my mobile phone, there's no consciousness in my mobile phone, so it's not going to protest. But if the same way I'm going to try to harm an animal, the animal has consciousness. He'll feel the hurt, he'll feel the fear, because the consciousness is there. Consciousness cannot be denied. A body without consciousness is a dead body. As soon as consciousness is removed from the body, the mouth will not speak, the eye will not see, nor the ears hear. A child can understand that. We may have seen a dead body. What's the difference between that dead body and us? It's just that the dead body cannot move anymore. Why? Because the soul that was there in the body. The consciousness which was there in the body is not there. That's the difference between the dead body and me. And because the conscious is not there, the body cannot move. It cannot move. It is a fact that consciousness is absolutely necessary for the animation of the body. What is this consciousness? So we understand the difference between dead body and living body. Dead body, the consciousness is not there. The living body, the consciousness is there. Because the consciousness is there in the living body, as such, we say, the body can move, eat, sleep, whatever, But the dead body cannot. Why? Because the conscious is not there. So what is this consciousness? Just as heat or smoke are symptoms of fire, so consciousness is the symptom of the soul. The Prabhupada is explaining to us when we say fire, what are the qualities of fire? Fire will have heat and light, heat and smoke. It will have heat. Fire, that's a symptom, no? Of fire is heat. So what is this consciousness? Consciousness is symptom of soul. The energy of the soul or self is produced in the shape of consciousness. So consciousness is the symptom of the soul. Indeed, consciousness proves that the soul is present. This is not only the philosophy of the Bhagavad Gita, but the conclusion of all Vedic literature. So Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is saying this. Not only is Bhagavad Gita saying it, but also all the Vedas are saying that the consciousness is a symptom of the soul. The impersonalist followers of Shankaracharya, as well as the Vaishnavas, following in the disciplic succession from Lord Shri Krishna, acknowledge the factual existence of the soul, but the Buddhist philosophers do not. So the impersonalists, the followers of Shankaracharya, they believe in existence of soul, that there is a spirit which is different than matter. Aham Brahmasmi, I am spirit. And the Vaishnavas, who are coming in the line, Vaishnavas means the disciplic succession always starts from Krishna. Krishna is the original spiritual master. They could be in any of the 4 authorized sampradayas. Could be Sri Vaishnav Sampradaya or Rudra or Nimbarka or Brahma. So, but all believe that the soul exists. But the Buddhist philosophy does not accept that there is a soul. The factual existence of the soul. The soul actually exists for a fact. It's a fact. It's not only a belief. The Buddhists contend that at a certain stage, the combination of matter produces consciousness, but this argument is refuted by the fact that although we may have all the constants of matter at our disposal, we cannot produce consciousness from them. So Lord Buddha, he said that consciousness was produced how? That these different elements are combined and the consciousness comes. But we can't prove it. Why? Because we have those elements. Earth, water, air, fire, ether. We have those. If we try to combine it, but we are not able to produce consciousness. Yeah, we can produce mobile phone, we can produce laptop, TVs, cars, so many things, but we cannot produce consciousness by the different permutation and combination of these different material elements. All the material elements may be present in a dead man, but we cannot revive that man to consciousness. Also in a dead man, all those elements are there. Then why he's not conscious? If the philosophy is that that you have these elements and you combine them and you're going to produce consciousness, then a dead man has all these elements. Then why is there no consciousness? So this body is not like a machine. When a part of machine breaks down, it can be replaced and the machine will work again. But when the body breaks down and consciousness leaves the body, there is no possibility of our replacing the broken part and rejuvenating the consciousness. So we have to understand that what is making this body work actually is the consciousness. And once the consciousness has left the body, we cannot bring it back. Although all the elements are there, the body is there. Everything is there. But what's missing is the consciousness, and we cannot bring it back. We are thinking, oh, I can repair my mobile phone. My one something broke. I removed it and I put a new one. Or a chip. I've traveled to another country. I remove one chip. I put another chip. My mobile can still work. So we are thinking, oh, we can do that with the body. But no, we can't. We cannot bring the consciousness back in the body. The soul is different from the body, and as long as the soul is there, the body is animate. But there is no possibility of making the body animate in the absence of the soul. So the body seems alive. The body seems to have this life, right? We can talk, we can walk, we can do so many things. Why? Because the soul is still in the body. But once the soul leaves the body, even though the body is there, the body can't speak. The body can't walk. The body can't even get up by itself because the soul is not there. Because we cannot perceive the soul by our gross senses, we deny it. So now we are not able to see the soul. We can see this body, the eyes, the hands, the ears, nose. So we know, okay, I'm the body, but we are not able to see the soul. So we say there is no soul. Because I cannot see it, better to say I'm not there. Just like many people will say, oh, there's no germs, there's no bacteria flying in the sky. Why? Because I can't see it. So it's not there. Fact is totally different. Actually, there are so many things that are there which we cannot see. We cannot see air, radio waves, or sound. Yeah, we can't see sound. We can only hear the sound. Radio waves, we can't. But yet we can tap those waves and then we can produce the sound. Now with all this Wi-Fi going on, internet, so all these are there at a different frequency. Only we can't see it. That doesn't mean it doesn't exist because we can't see it. Nor can we perceive minute bacteria with our blunt senses. The bacteria flowing. Even on our skin, there is so much bacteria, but we can't see it. But this does not mean that they are not there. By the aid of the microscope and other instruments, many things can be perceived which had previously been denied by the imperfect senses. So if we want to see the bacteria, we have to get the microscope. If we want to capture the radio waves or all the Wi-Fi connections, we need that connector. Then we will be able to see them or perceive them. We cannot see the air, but we can perceive of the air on our skin. Just because the soul, which is atomic in size, has not been perceived yet by senses or other instruments, we should not conclude that it is not there. It can, however, be perceived by its symptoms and effects. We can't see the mind, but does it mean that I have no mind? We cannot see intelligence. Does it mean that I have no intelligence? But so everything is perceived by its symptoms and the effects. Similarly, because we can't see the soul, we can't say the soul does not exist. We can perceive the soul by its symptoms and by the effects of the soul. Many people might say, oh, Yeah, or what I can't see, I can't believe in. But we can't see the mind. So then, am I mindless then? So um, that's what the scriptures also conclude, that the soul is there. Yeah, it cannot be perceived by the blunt senses because it's spiritual. It's spiritual, so we can't see it with the blunt senses. In the Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna points out that all of our miseries are due to false identification with the body. Matra sparshastu kaunteya shitoshna sukha dukkhada agama nitya stam statikshasva bharata. This is Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, text 14, where Krishna is saying that, O son of Kunti, the non-permanent appearance of heat and cold, happiness and distress, and their disappearance in due course are like the appearance and disappearance of winter and summer seasons. They arise from sense perception or sky of Bharata, and one must learn to tolerate them without being disturbed. So Krishna is saying that the suffering, the misery, why are we suffering? Why do we have misery? We are the soul. But why are we suffering? It's because we identify ourselves as the body. False identification with the body. We are thinking I am the body. And the idea, this very thought that I am the body, that is false. That is the false ego. Krishna is saying that the so for example, it was so cold yesterday. Today is a bit warmer than yesterday. A few days ago it was warmer than these 2 days also. In summer again it's going to be hot. So the weather keeps changing. There's hot, there's cold. Similarly, sometimes we are happy, sometimes suffering comes. Just comes. Krishna is saying it's like winter and summer, heat and cold, and they arise from sense perception. And Krishna is saying, tolerate them. Don't be disturbed by it. Understand that these things will come and they will go. In the summertime, we may feel pleasure from contact with water, but in the winter, we may shun that very water because it is too cold. Because now we have heated water in our bathroom, so that's all right. Feels good sometimes, in fact, to take a hot shower. But this is like if you have to bathe in the river, or bathe in the ocean. And if it's winter, then who wants to go inside in the cold water? So in either case, the water is the same, but we perceive it as pleasant or painful due to its contact with the body. So we can say that in summer, we want to shower with cool water. But in the winter, we want it with hot water. If we put hot water in summer, it's painful. And if we put cold water in winter, it's painful. Yeah, but the water is the same. So all feelings of distress and happiness are due to the body. Under certain conditions, the body and mind feel happiness and distress. So all this happiness, all the distress actually we feel are due to the body. Happiness is also due to the body, but because we want happiness, we don't complain after it. Actually, we are hankering after happiness, for the soul's constitutional position is that of happiness. The nature, what's the nature of the soul? Is the soul is part and parcel of the Supreme Being who is Satchidananda Vigraha, the embodiment of knowledge, bliss, and eternity. So we are part and parcel of Krishna. Krishna is the embodiment of uh, knowledge, bliss, and eternity. Indeed, the very name Krishna, which is non-sectarian, means the greatest pleasure. What's the meaning of Krishna? The greatest pleasure. Krish means greatest and Na means pleasure. Krishna is the epitome of pleasure, and being part and parcel of him, we hanker for pleasure. So Krishna He's the reservoir of all pleasure. Krishna means Krish, greatest, na means pleasure. So all the pleasure is coming from Krishna. And because we are part and parcel of Krishna, we want pleasure. We hankering for pleasure. We are searching. Where can I get pleasure? I'll do this, I'll get pleasure. I'll do that, I'll get pleasure. All of us are hankering for pleasure. Why? Because we are part and parcel of Krishna. And right now we are thinking we are the body. So we are trying to seek pleasure in this body. A drop of ocean water has all the properties of the ocean itself. And we, although minute particles of the Supreme Whole, have the same energetic properties as the Supreme. So the ocean has the salt. And if we take a drop of water from this ocean, this drop of water also has salt. The quantity is different, but the salt is there. So although we are infinitesimal, minute, we are minute particles of Krishna, minute particles of Supreme Whole. We still have the qualities of Krishna. Krishna has those qualities unlimitedly. But because we are minute, we have them in minute quantity. Just as we said, the salt in the ocean is so much, unlimited. But in the drop of ocean water, it's so tiny. But the salt is there. So Krishna is Sat Chid Ananda Vigraha. So we are also Sat Chid Ananda. The nature of soul is Sat Chid Ananda. That's why we are always seeking pleasure. Are there any questions or comments till now?
No, but they're just telling us about the properties and the symptoms of the soul. Like, what is the consciousness? So, like, right?
I'm
The
sorry?
symptoms, they're telling us the symptoms of the consciousness, like that, how in a body it is consciousness that is keeping the body.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
Yes. Yes, the body appears to be living is because of this consciousness.
So
Yes.
the pain and pleasure is due to the gross body and subtle body, right? Both.
Yes.
The
Yes.
mind, intelligence, false ego.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yes. Krishna saying, all this is because we are thinking we are the body. And we are always seeking pleasure because soul is always seeking pleasure. Satchid Ananda is the nature of the soul. So we are seeking this pleasure, but now we are thinking we are the body. So we are seeking this pleasure through the body. So
But we are
then,
seeking the wrong pleasure, right?
yeah, that's right. That's right. Because we are completely, our foundation itself is wrong. We are thinking we are the body. So then all the other steps we are taking is wrong, like a mad person then. So we are behaving like a mad person. So should we stop here for today and continue tomorrow?
Yes.
Yeah. We'll continue with the same book. Thank you so much for listening and joining it. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakti Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.